Now we return with some local sports news, starting with Yvonne.
Eleanor Balchaka had her hopes of reaching the US Open dashed in the final qualifying round after she was beaten 4-6, 7-5, 6-1 by Michelle Larcher de Brito at the weekend. The 30-year-old, who is based in Enfield, is ranked 244 in the world as she makes her way back following injury. She made the perfect start against the 20-year-old Portuguese and won the first set 6-4. Balchakas looked in control of the second set and served for the match. De Brito, who knocked Maria Sharapova out of Wimbledon early in the summer, had struggled during the game, but she regained her composure to win 3 straight games to clinch the second set. She maintained her momentum, and Balchaka's challenge fizzled out as she lost out on a place in the main draw after losing the final set 6-1.
An Enfield youth team has raised £1,096 for a children's cancer charity. Enfield playing fields was a stage for penalty shootouts, tournaments, skill sessions and a barbecue held by Olympicos Youth to raise money for CLIC Sargent, the UK's leading cancer charity for young people and their families.
It's been a summer to remember for Enfield Ignatians as the club embarked on its biggest and most ambitious tour. The destination chosen was South Africa, and the touring party of 63, including several from the junior section, enjoyed the experience. The 6-match tour yielded 2 wins from 6 games, with the highlights being the senior team's 22-12 win over Kraaienfontein and the Colts' 19-10 victory against Durbanville. Club president Martin Baker said, "As one of the senior players commented, South Africa was everything we expected and more. The touring party had a great time, and we played some really tough opposition as some of the sides feed into the top South African sides and in some great facilities." One area which was particularly eye-opening was how refereeing interpretations differ in the Southern Hemisphere. In one of our games, the policing of the ruck area was liberal to say the least, as players were repeatedly coming off their feet and not getting pinged. We've been to visit some great places, such as Table Mountain and Robben Island, as well as going shark diving. Beyond the bare bones of the results, it proved a great bonding exercise and was particularly successful in bringing the senior and junior sections of the club together. There were some excellent performances on the fields. Standouts included Tom Kelly and David Gear, best junior player, and former Colts Aaron Doe and Luke Stack. It was certainly a tour to remember.
Enfield's Charlotte Dujardin made sure the 2013 ECCOFEI, I'm not sure what that is, European Championships went down as the most successful in British equestrian history as she claimed 2 medals at the event in Denmark. The double Olympic gold medalist achieved a score of 91.25% on board 10-year-old Vallegro in the freestyle, which was a record European Championship score in the discipline. Dujardin finished almost 4% above silver medalist Helen Langenberg and 5% ahead of previous European champion Adelinda Kolinielsen in third. 2 days earlier, the 28-year-old took first place in the individual Grand Prix special competition. She recovered from a mistake in her routine before posting a winning total of 85.699%. Dujardin helped take Britain's medal haul to 6, 3 of which are gold, and she admits she couldn't have asked for any more from Vallegro. "I had great fun. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing," Dujardin told Team GB's website. "I watched my Olympic freestyle back, and to me he looks not quite as expressive as he can because he had done so much in London and was so tired. I so wanted to beat that goddamn world record I just missed out, but what else can I ask of Vallegro? He has given me everything this week, and I am just absolutely over the moon. The performance felt much better than London. He just felt fantastic out there, and I had no idea the crowd would start clapping before the end. They don't normally. Every time he went in there, he gave me his best this week, and that is all you can ask for as a rider. I just cannot ask any more of him.
Tottenham Hotspur has been criticised by fans who have raised concerns about fellow supporters attempting to resell match tickets for as much as £1,000. Last month, the North London club entered a 3-year deal with the ticket website StubHub, a subsidiary of the online auction site eBay. The deal allows season ticket holders to resell their tickets online, but there has been an outcry after some fans attempted to sell tickets at exorbitant prices. For example, one seller priced 2 tickets for the Spurs game against Chelsea at £1,265 each. The Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust says there is a real concern over the lack of a price cap. We are calling for all tickets to be listed at face value, and we will continue to do so. The Trust says it is unethical for season ticket holders to make a profit from fellow Spurs fans, but adds those who raise ticket prices are not doing anything wrong under the terms of the deal. The spokesman added, there is no upper price cap, and fingers are being pointed at the fans when they should really be pointed at the club for entering into a commercial partnership which advocates this. Pitching fans against fans is simply unfair. Some fans have also expressed concern about seats being empty because people will not be willing to pay the asking price for resold tickets. However, the Trust says this is unlikely to happen as the majority of season ticket holders will still attend games and only 1 or 2% of the club's tickets are resold online. Spurs have defended the ticket exchange system and says there is a difference between the amounts a ticket is priced at and how much it is actually sold for. A club spokesman said every registered member would be able to buy a ticket at face value directly from the club, and the secondary ticketing system would only kick in once all the tickets had sold out. The spokesman said tickets for the matches against Swansea City, Norwich City and Chelsea were sold out after reaching general sales status. This means that all Hotspur members who wanted to purchase a ticket had been able to do so directly from the club at face value. Only at this point did the StubHub service become live and enable those season ticket holders not able to attend the game to make their tickets available to other fans. Spurs have called on fans that want to resell their tickets to do so at sensible pricing levels and have promised to continue to monitor the activity on StubHub.
Fun and laughter fill the air at Ponders End Festival on Bank Holiday Monday. Excuse me. The festival has been running for a decade, and this year it was even bigger and better, with 4 separate areas including health and well-being, community stalls, a creative zone, and employment and training, as well as live music and an inflatable assault course for children to enjoy. Organiser Omar Lawrence said it was the first time he'd taken charge of the event. I was very pleased with the turnout, he said. We only had 4 weeks to arrange it, and somebody was praying for sunshine for us, so it was great. Historically, it has been a small event around the bandstand, but this time we tried to expand it.
A single mother from Edmonton has received an award for her work helping children in the borough. Ogo Williams of the Broadway, Edmonton, has proved that being a young single mum does not slow you down. After graduating from Brunel University in social work 6 years ago, Ogo started her own consultancy company working to improve the lives of children in North London, and she is also a leader of local children's services charity Ebony. Now, Ogo has been rewarded for her contribution to the community at the Achievement Awards ceremony held in Portsmouth earlier this month. The 27-year-old said, "I have been blessed with the honour of serving my local society and the many children without a voice, and I am grateful for the support I have been given over the years. Hopefully, I will encourage others in my community to be the best they can be and make changes for the good in our society."
And now we have 2 sports shorts. The first relates to football. Bad weather denied Enfield, 1893, the chance to bounce back from their FA Cup defeat as their scheduled clash at Bowers and Pitsea in the Essex Senior League fell victim to a waterlogged pitch on Saturday. The E's had exited the Cup in controversial circumstances on Tuesday last week as a debatable stoppage time penalty saw them lose 2-1 at London Lions in their preliminary round replay. I don't like criticising officials, but I feel that the referee changed the game, manager Luke Giddings said. He sent off one of our players for a tackle which should never have been a red card, and then gave a really soft penalty in the 4th minute of injury time. We were just all really gutted, and we feel very hard done by. And the second short story is also on football. Visually impaired people from Enfield can now sign up for a community programme launched by a football club. The Tottenham Hotspur Foundation, based in High Road, Tottenham, is running a 6-week programme from Wednesday the 4th of September. The foundation, along with charity Action for Blind People, will encourage people to enrol into the free programme that will include problem solving, advice and guidance, practical skills, and addressing the emotional side of sight loss with group activities aimed to gain confidence.
A plan to resurrect the borough's food-growing heritage has received backing from the Mayor of London. Coming from the Mayor's 70 million regeneration fund, Enfield Borough Council has secured $600,000 not only to help restore the food-growing history in the borough, but aims to create more than 1,000 jobs. A proposed market garden aims to start developing a cooperative growing model this year in which residents, community groups and other organisations work with the council to grow their own produce and explore avenues for selling of crops locally and commercially. The Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, said, "My regeneration fund is targeting innovative projects that will drive growth and prosperity. Enfield's Market Garden fits the bill as a bold and ambitious initiative which is set to reap a range of economic and social benefits. Local people will have ready access to fresh food grown on their doorstep, knowing that it is creating jobs, apprenticeships and volunteering opportunities in the area." Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Business and Regeneration, Councillor Del Goddard, said, "We want people to help us rediscover the borough's food-producing heritage to turn Enfield into a large-scale food producer, both at a community level and also ultimately on a borough-wide scale. This welcome investment will help us create jobs, provide food locally, diversify the borough's economy and encourage residents to produce their own food. We are sowing the seeds to enable us to produce healthy, wholesome, sustainable local food rather than relying on produce which is transported into the borough from around the world."
A boy from Enfield was given the chance to play with his football idols on a very special day. Leo Gaza, 7, of Morley Hill, Enfield, played with Arsenal stars at the Emirates Stadium as part of Members' Day held during the summer break. Despite his surname resembling that of a Tottenham legend, Leo is Arsenal through and through and was picked from 30,000 members to play in the 30th anniversary celebrations of the Junior Gunners, the club's young supporter scheme. The 30 youngsters played against the North London team with Gunners and England star Theo Walcott joining them at half-time. Leo said, "I had a brilliant day at Arsenal. Not only did I get to meet my favourite players, I was able to play football with them too." Leo also had the chance to watch the Arsenal team train and quiz Walcott, Kieran Gibbs and Olivia Giroud. Is it John?
Giroud.
Thank you. In a question and answer session.
More than 500 teddy bears and their owners raised thousands of pounds for an Enfield cancer charity at a special event. Children met their favourite fairy tale characters at the Teddy Bears Picnic at Capel Manor Gardens in Ballsmore Lane, Enfield, in aid of the Nightingale Cancer Support Centre. The event raised £3,357 for the Lancaster Road Centre as families enjoyed activities and party games. Fundraising manager Lisa Barker said, "It was an amazing day with a great turnout. It was lovely to see the look on the children's faces as they were greeted by their fairy tale idols. Children grow up so quickly these days, so it's wonderful to catch the innocence of their childhood, and it was great to see the parents taking such an active role with the kids, singing and dancing away. The whole day had such a great community feel. A huge thank you to St Monica's players, Acorn Theatre and the Chicken Shed Theatre members who all helped to play the part of the fairy tale characters."
Enfield Borough Council has used bailiffs more than 18,000 times in the past year, according to figures of Financial Advice Charity. The Money Advice Trust released figures last week which revealed the council had referred bailiffs to 18,127 properties in the borough, which contains 122,020 houses. Figures which were obtained from a Freedom of Information request were also published for the other 373 local authorities around the country. In total, 1.8 million referrals were made to bailiffs by councils across England and Wales in the past 12 months. A large majority of bailiff visits in London are due to parking penalties and congestion charges. However, authorities also refer council tax arrears and business rate arrears to bailiffs for collection. The Trust is calling on local authorities to be more responsible in managing their debt collection and only use bailiffs as a last resort. An Enfield Council spokesman said, "Enfield Council uses bailiff services when all attempts to recover money owed have failed. Those who do owe the council money are sent letters, offered arrangements to pay in instalments, and reminders are sent that we use bailiffs as a final resort. The council has a duty to collect all taxes it is owed. Over the past few months, the council has set up a task force with Job Centre Plus and the Citizens Advice Bureau to advise people who receive reduced benefits."
The parents of Hannah Defoe, who died while on holiday in St Lucia last year, have been left distraught and furious over the Caribbean islands' authorities' failure to satisfactorily investigate their daughter's death. The inquest was adjourned for the second time at North London Coroner's Court in High Barnet last Thursday after the authorities failed to provide further information about the tragedy. The 20-year-old cousin of Spurs and England footballer Jermaine Defoe had been staying at the Juliet Lodge Hotel with her aunt and cousin last summer when she dived into the hotel pool on July 25th and was killed by an electric current. According to the family, tests found the water in the hotel pool registered 180 volts. The inquest has been rescheduled for March next year, 20 months after Hannah's death. Her mother, Hope Defoe, broke down in tears when she read out an email she had sent to a St Lucian government official in the early hours of Thursday morning. "Imagine how you would feel if you had been fobbed off with excuses about inquiries and forms filled in incorrectly. Are you feeling the rage, the despair? And try to get on with living a normal life as it dawns on you that you may never know the truth about what happened to your dead child." Mrs. Defoe described Hannah as an intelligent, beautiful, loving, hard-working girl whose motto was, "Why walk when you can dance?" Janice Brennan, the barrister, acting on behalf of the family, said that when the inquest was initially postponed in March this year, only the result of a post-mortem and a single witness statement from a St Lucian police officer had been received, and nothing had been forthcoming since. 8 months after Hannah's death, the St Lucian authorities started their inquiry, but the result is a very firm nothing. Mr. Walker, the coroner, who was shown pictures of Hannah by the family, said he was concerned by the delay and acknowledged that it would have caused great distress to the family. There is a Coroner's Act in St Lucia So we should expect an inquiry to take place, but sadly we have no control over this process, but we will continue to do everything we can. Mrs. Brennan added that under English law, this would have been a manslaughter investigation, and the family are determined that the St. Lucian authorities take this seriously so that no one, not a tourist nor a local, ever suffers such a fate. Dr. Ernest Hilaire, the St. Lucian High Commissioner in London, contacted the family after they left court and met them on Friday. A spokesman for the Foreign Office said, "We appreciate this must continue to be a deeply upsetting time for the family. We cannot speed up the process as we cannot interfere in another country's judicial system just as they cannot interfere in ours."
The UK's largest independent estate agent has invested more than £50,000 in transforming its Enfield office, which was officially unveiled by the Mayor of Enfield last week. The remodelled office drew plenty of admiring looks and positive comments from invited guests when it reopened its doors last Wednesday, following a major makeover by Hart's team of interior designers. The branch has been expanded to house both sales and lettings and now has a cosier and more relaxed atmosphere. The new look includes the installation of state-of-the-art computers, new fascias, walls, carpets and telephone systems. There is also a breakout area, I wonder what that's for, where customers can discuss their needs in a more relaxed, informal and approachable environment, whether they are looking to buy, sell, let or rent. Touch-screen computers have been added so customers can pop in and browse Hart's range of properties at their leisure. The look has been finished off with a number of highly colourful backlit blinds to help promote the branch at night. Heading up the new improved Enfield office is branch manager John Lilo, who will oversee a 5-strong sales team. They are joined by a 2-person lettings team made up of Kwama Hussain and Ben Matthews. Between both teams, they have more than 50 years' experience of estate agency in both London market and the home counties. They are supported by Guy Davison, a mortgage advisor with Just Mortgages, the independent high street mortgage brokers.
An Enfield graduate who defied the odds and twice survived meningitis is warning other young people about the lethal disease. David Coppin, aged 23, of Lyndhurst Road, Edmonton, collapsed following a bout of vomiting and spent a week in a coma after contracting meningitis in October 2009. His mother, Lorraine, placed him in God's hands. Unfortunately, David was able to resume his sports management degree at Coventry University. However, 5 months later, David contracted the disease again. This time, his friends spotted one of the telltale symptoms, which include a red blotchy rash that does not fade, and insisted he went straight to hospital. Thanks to their quick thinking and knowledge, David recovered, and after graduating last November has launched the Meningitis Trust campaign to make young people aware of the early signs of meningitis. David said, "When I first developed symptoms, I thought I just had a bug. I am extremely lucky to have recovered from the disease twice. It was against all odds, and I'm grateful to everyone who helped me get well. The ordeal has taught me to appreciate life. With meningitis, you don't have full control of your limbs, and everything becomes such a struggle. I felt very vulnerable. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. My mum was also affected emotionally and mentally. It had a big impact on us. It's a hard disease to diagnose, so I want everyone to learn the symptoms and keep an eye on each other." The campaign says students are particularly prone to meningitis, which can kill in hours, with carriage rates peaking at the age of 19. For more information on the symptoms of meningitis, go to www.meningitisuk.org.
A hospice has cause for celebration after a supermarket chose it as its official charity for the 2nd year running. Sainsbury's in Flory Square, Winchmore Hill, is continuing its support for the North London Hospice. The supermarket is aiming to surpass its total of more than 3,600 last year, which was raised from a host of fundraising events, including bucket collections, cake sales, an in-store cycle and a rowing challenge. Staff at the store, who voted to support the hospice again, have already raised £477 from a fun day. Store manager David Dawson said, being located so close to the hospice's site in Winchmore Hill, North London Hospice is well known in the community and amongst our shoppers. We are extremely proud to be offering support and raising awareness for a great cause. Community fundraiser Rose Tyler said, we would like to thank the staff for choosing us, and we're looking forward to planning lots of activities together in the coming weeks and hope customers will support the fundraising efforts.
2 men who played a part in a gang that orchestrated a multi-million-pound cocaine dealing network have been jailed for a total of 12 years. Elliot John Phillip of Derby Road, Ponders End, was convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine and was sentenced to 4 years in prison at Isleworth Crown Court on July 22nd. Waqas Mohammed of Kipling Terrace, Edmonton, was convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine and was sentenced to 8 years in prison at the same court on July the 5th. Both men were cogs in a 17-person network which police linked to a haul of cocaine with an estimated street value of $2.25 million. The 15 men and 2 women in the gang have been jailed for a total of more than 80 years after appearing in a series of trials between May 9th and July 29th. They were convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine and money laundering offences. In the course of the trials, the juries heard that detectives uncovered the web of suppliers and dealers after seizing a firearm at the home of Brian McCarthy, who was sentenced to 4 years behind bars. His arrest sparked an investigation into one of McCarthy's associates, Gary Ewan of Great Cambridge, Camborne. Ewan had been using his haulage business, based in Letchworth, Hertfordshire, to ship huge amounts of cocaine into the UK from the continent. He was later convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine and sentenced to 8 years in prison. It emerged he had been concealing the drugs in his lorries before passing them to another member of the network, Mark Lehane from West Drayton. Lehane sold the drugs to street-level dealers and was jailed for 10 years after being convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine. During their investigations into the network of buyers, dealers and suppliers, police officers recovered 45 kilograms of cocaine and £150,000 in cash as they drew closer to the heart of the operation. The other gang members were jailed for between 8 years and 18 months.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of
Audrey,
John,
and the other John, and on the controls, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Please.